Good morning, y'all. Johnny Madero here with the Art of Heart, the way of the intercepting shepherd. Just got off of duty. God bless my firefighters, my police, my military brothers and sisters out there that are sacrificing themselves. Your sacrifice is not in vain. The word that came to me this morning, the Lord is at hand. No matter what is going on in your life at this moment, man, every single day I have to call upon God to intervene in my life. I can't do anything without him. I could try to, and in some areas I'll succeed because he wants his sons and daughters to succeed in life. But how much more is it when I have him by my side every single day? And that is he that takes the reins, because he's the reign of my life. And in everything, God shows you your triggers in life, what gets you down, what pokes you, whoever is poking the bear. And a lot of times that gun, which is our pride, that whatever drives us in the flesh, we have to take control of that, because we could blow up at any moment. And he says there's nothing more evil than the smallest member in our bodies, and that's the tongue. That we could bless God or we could curse him and curse others. But how much more is it to bless others that rival you, that commit evil towards you and persecute you and slander you? There's a lot of that going around. Brother against brother, sister against sister, Keep it up. Awesome. And, have a smile on your face, when you see your neighbors out in the park, who's robbing that smile of yours? Who's taking away that peace that you once had? But you know what? It's not far away from you unless you want to continue to be there. If you want to stay angry, if you want to stay hurt, if you want to stay depressed, if you want to stay in pain and in anguish and in despair, that's your choice. But you know what? There's a better way. I'm reading my devotional today. God put it in my heart, Moni sent me something this morning. Love you, Moni. Love my CKN family out there. All my martial arts family out there. From all walks of life, man. You guys are warriors. My moms, my dads, wherever you are, all of y'all are warriors. You don't give up. I'm thankful for what my parents did. Mami, papi, te amo. It reminded that I gotta call him today. I can't go more than 3 days, max 4 days, without talking to my parents. And also my family, whoever you haven't spoken to, in a long time, give them a shout. But you know what? Don't be hurt if nobody calls you. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that you're not loved. That's a lie. Straight up from the pit of hell. Because you are loved. There's no greater love than this, than someone who sacrificed their life for their friends. That's John 15:13. You know who said that? Yeshua. He also said in John 14:14 that whatever you ask for in my name, I shall do it. What's going on in your life? I see some of my fam, some of my brothers and sisters, that they're going through it, man. They're going through it, man, and it aches my heart. It really aches my heart when I see people in pain, And as best as I can, I always have to remember, okay, that the light that shines brightly from Messiah, from Yeshua, that dwells within me, that he shines his light upon those that are in darkness. It's he that needs to be glorified in every single way. It's to remove oneself from the equation and give glory to God in all. You watching this video, it's not me that, man, before I went to work, my son Joshua, he was frustrated. You know what I'm saying? I scolded him a little bit. God is teaching me, to be, understanding and patient and loving and gracious and have mercy. Be a peacemaker, because we have to. And I know that I could have done that a little bit better. I know that I could have done that better. But did I mean it maliciously? Good morning.
Good morning.
or because a lot of the times our flesh will get in there, and it's, that anger will come out. And you got to keep that in check too. Big time. God is working on that with me as well. And people say, dude, you have a lot of patience, man. A lot. I'm like, really? I need more. Because even yet we were still sinners, because there's no one good. Yeshua came down to die for us, to be that sacrifice, that atonement. He redeemed us from darkness, from sin, and brought us to light. But you know what? We have to make that decision. All the stuff that is going on in life right now, all the chaos, man, in Israel and Palestine, in the Middle East, in Russia and Ukraine, and you know what? Here, thank God that I'm still able to come outside in this beautiful park with wind, on my skin, and the sun shining brightly, and I'm able to say hello to my neighbors. There's a lot of people out there that can't do that. You step outside and you're shot dead or taken hostage. A lot of really evil things, man, are being done everywhere. And there's that quote, is when a good person sees all of this, and doesn't do anything about it. Where are my protectors at? Where are my watchmen at? Because there is nothing greater than when we humble ourselves and we are no better. I am no better than any of you. But I will always preach that Yeshua is the one. He is the one. He is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through him. And I didn't understand that before. I didn't know what that meant. I was one that used to preach that there's many paths, you know, to eternity, you know, to being enlightened. You know what I'm saying? You didn't need a God. You didn't need a savior. You could save yourself. As a firefighter, I know that way too well. That you know what? When you're in that pit and your tank is gone and you have no more air and just black cloud of just soot. It's not the fire that kills people. Mostly it's that smoke, that dense smoke that just gets into your lungs and you can't breathe. You know who gives us the breath of life? You know who is the breath of life? That's Yeshua. He is the word. And many people say, as I did, you know, yeah, he was a good teacher. Yeah, he was a prophet. You know what? He didn't even exist, man. That's not real. That is not real. He never existed. That's exactly what anyone would say, okay, that have just darkness in their life. They don't even know what they're saying. They don't even know what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because let me tell you, when you go on that path, on that ancient path, and ask to be shown the way, just ask, God, if you're real, if Jesus is who he says he is, show me. Show me. Go ahead. Let me tell you something. You're going to be shown. Everyone that asks for the truth shall be shown. Okay? And we have to be rooted, man. Look at that. Look at these beautiful trees, that are just anchored. They are deep rooted and anchored, man. Look at that. Yeah, you got some tree limbs that are broken here and there. Last week we had, out of nowhere, let me tell you, it took people by surprise. We were getting, hurricane force winds and rain, big time. That it caused leaks in roofs of some of my friends. Some people were displaced. Out of nowhere, it came. When we're rooted in his word and allowing the light of life to guide us, to show us the way, it doesn't matter what happens in our lives. It doesn't matter where you are in life, because this life is just a mere shadow of the glory of what's to come for those that are in him, for those that are in Yeshua. It's all about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob was given a new name after he wrestled with God. Believe I try to wrestle with God. Key word, tried, okay, and lost. All right, but in that losing, I learned and still learning. But the most important thing that I could ever have learned, that he is the guide of my life. He is the light that shines brightly on my feet to show me the ancient path. You read the book of Jeremiah, and that's exactly what's going on right now. Exactly what's going on. And it's about a people that have forgotten about him. A people that have gone after other idols, other things in life, that bring them pleasure. But you know what? It doesn't matter how much they have. It doesn't matter how much we attain in this life, okay? Because all these riches are going to collect moth. Moth is going to destroy it. Rust is going to destroy it. We can't take that, okay, with us when we pass on from this life to the next. Do you know what's going to happen in the next life? I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to empower you in his word. But it should scare you, because it scared the light out of me. Okay? You know that when we are conceived, okay? And this is just recently that they discovered this, that when you look at the cell in a microscope, that there is a flash of light that shines from within the cell. Wow. Yeah, life is in that and look at how many, oh man, how many children that we have killed in the womb. And yet we start jumping for joy when they find bacteria, you know, that's on Mars. And we say we found life on Mars and other planets. And yet on the womb, we say that that's not a life. Let me tell y'all something. If you haven't got to the message of what's in these words, is that you still have time. You still have time. Okay? We don't know when we're going to go. All right? Look up Pastor Pittman. Okay? And what was shown to him. Or a long time ago, I believe it was in the late 60s. All right? That he woke up in the morning, you know? He was gonna go for an election. I forget what it was, but he ends up having a massive heart attack that the doctor says that he was clinically dead for 15 minutes. And in that time frame, okay, he was taken, his spirit was taken, all right, to that to that veil. Morning. I'm reminded of when God did that to me. I'll leave that for another video. But wow, how he changed my life. And this is the sanctification process until, you know, we pass on. You know, that while we're still here, we're being sanctified in his word. We're being sanctified in his image. You know, we were made in his image. We were made in God's image. And yet we are corrupting it every single day. And then we're looking for a savior. He already came down. But at the same thing that his own children did back in the days, they spat on him. They slapped him. They put a crown of thorns on him. They whipped him. Okay? They put him on that cross, on that stake. But you know what? He says that that was the will of his Father in heaven. But the crazy thing is, and the most awesome thing, is that the Word became flesh. And the Word dwelt with us. The Word was from the beginning. All things were made by him and through him and for him. The Word is the light of God. The Word is God. The Word is Yeshua. He is God himself in all his glory and majesty. Imagine that. That is pretty awesome. But you know what, y'all? As best as we can, okay? If we're not guided by his light, how are we going to be able to forgive? How are we going to be able to love? How are we going to be able to attain peace? Because through him is that peace that surpasses all understanding. I want that peace every single day. You know, to guide me to be a husband that loves his wife the way Yeshua loves his church. To be a dad that loves his children and doesn't anger them, but raise them up in the way that when they're older, they will not depart from it, and to be a servant. But that's hard. That is so hard, and I can't do it alone, but only through him and his mercy and his grace and his love. That I don't deserve this life, yet he tells me that I am loved, that you're loved. And it's all about a relationship with our Father in heaven. Don't let anyone take you away from him and lead you astray. And it could be your own self and just being prideful. Yeah, I know. It took me a long time. And I would have wished that there were people to talk to me this way. You know what I'm saying? But I was so stubborn. I was so confrontational. That still, if God didn't check that, I'll still be in my ignorant way. But even in that, is that when he shines his light on you, it is so beautiful. Wow, man, that light feels awesome. Check this out. Wow. Casting that shadow on you, it reminds me of the footsteps in the sand. That when you're on that sand, when you're in that desert, all alone, and that scorching sun, and in the middle of the night, it's just super duper cold. You know what I'm saying? That there's a second set of footprints right there, right beside you. You're not alone. No matter where you are right now in your life, you are not alone. And the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because he says through Abraham, he is going to raise many nations, okay? Many nations. He says in his word, and real quick, because this is in my heart, man, I could talk about this forever, because, wow. You know that in Jeremiah, he talks about a people that they don't know him because their hearts are uncircumcised. Their hearts are uncircumcised. It's our hearts that need to be changed and renewed. It's the renewal of our minds. It's to be born again in his image. And that can only be attained when we understand that we have to come to the throne of God, that we are just a mere speck in this vast universe. And anytime he could take us out. Okay, but he tells us to turn away, to turn around and look onto him and call upon his name. And he will save us. To ask for forgiveness. It doesn't matter what you have done in your life. If you're hearing this message right now, okay, there's nothing that you have done that God cannot forgive. And it's asking him, is knowing that we've done that and we sinned against him. We sinned against our brothers and sisters and our fathers and mothers. How much more if we can't forgive? How is God going to forgive us if we can't even forgive each other? As much as possible, we have to. We have to have him in our lives more. There's time, y'all. God bless you. You watching this message? God bless you. Share it. You're not sharing me. Okay? You're sharing his word. Because someone out there needs to hear this. Don't hold it on for yourself. Someone is in the pit right now, okay? And they're thinking about taking their life. Don't do it. Don't do it. I've had thoughts of suicide and almost committed suicide myself. And those lies come in saying that you're not loved, that you're unworthy. That is a lie from the pit of hell. The enemy wants you to take your life away. The devil wants you to take life as well. Don't do it. Don't do it. Talking to those that are married as well. Okay? My men, love your wife the way Yeshua loves the church. Be patient with her. Understanding with her. Okay? And wives, respect and honor your husbands. Read Proverbs 31. Men, read the Psalms. Be a man after God's own heart. And I would love and God speaks to me. You know, I was gonna say I would love to be called a man after God's own heart. And he stopped me. My words were stopped. Because he tells me that I am a man after his own heart. Oh, yeah. God bless y'all. God bless you. And before I leave, I want to make sure that y'all have protection when you go out in the sun and you're in the garden tending the garden. Why would you need to put on lip balm in the garden? Well, it's because you're planting tulips. A little dad joke. Oh my gosh, I can hear my daughter right now, Layla. Dad. Precious are our children. They are an inheritance of Yod He Vav He. They are a heritage of the Lord. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior are children of one youth. God bless our children. Raise them up in the way. It's not too late. This nation, you know, it's going down is because we've forgotten about him. You know, we put him aside. And you know, he tells us that the first commandment is to love God with all our hearts, mind, soul, and strength. That's the first commandment. And the second is to love our neighbor as ourselves. And he says that that is the whole law and the prophets. Those 613 commandments in the law, from the 10 commandments itself, and all the precepts that he teaches us in his word, those 2 commandments sum all of that up. To love God and to love neighbor. And there's not a lot of that going around. And needs to be more. Because in these times, the love of many is going to be wax cold. It's going to be wax cold, y'all. And I believe that that's more in the body of Messiah. That we just get so tired. It's hard, man. You know what I'm saying? To be in the pit and be a light in the pit. It is hard. But listening to look at that. Look at that little guy. You know, God speaks to us in so many different ways, but we just got to be in tuned and listen. the nature itself glorifies him. Glorifies him. In all of his creation has his imprint. It glorifies him. Perfect. To man, we still okay don't have the power to see things that are so small, okay, that Ant-Man himself, okay, can't even get to that point. And all of that perfect, because if one of those molecules was out of order, we cease to exist. We cease to exist. By his word, in his word, he created all of us, the heavens and the earth, by his word. That was the Big Bang. Through his mouth, you have to understand that it is thunderous. The beginning of knowledge is the fear of Yod-He-Vav-He. That's the beginning of knowledge, knowing that we are just a speck of dust. And we are just mere men, yet he's mindful of us. Who are we? Who are we? But you are loved. You are loved. Yeshua loves you very much. He gave his life for you. And there's deep meaning behind that. Search for truth and you will find it. And he will set you free. God bless you guys. Love y'all.